Um, this is a video follow-up of the previous entry I had in my blog. That video blackjack, the one with those ladies on it, is not blackjack, and I wanted to demonstrate to you how bad it actually is. I mean, I knew it was bad because I was checking the rules and the laws about how it was played, and so this was not blackjack on a mathematical level. I did not realize that it was worse than that. So I'm going to demonstrate to you why those games are not blackjack, shouldn't be called blackjack, and you should be at least aware if you're going to play those games. Personally, after what I found out, I say you shouldn't even play them, and I'm going to demonstrate to you why. Now, first, for you to understand this, you need to understand what blackjack is. Most people understand blackjack as being 21. That is, you get as close to 21 as possible without going over or breaking, and hope that the dealer either breaks, goes over 21, or comes out with a number less than yours. So if you have a 20 and they get a 20 and they get a 19, you win. But if they get a 20 and you get a 20, it's a push, no one wins, it's just out there. That's why in blackjack there aren't two outcomes, there are three. So it's not a 50-50 game because there's a third possibility. But that's the mathematics part. I'm not talking about the mathematics part right now because mathematics part is only relevant for actual blackjack, and that's not actual blackjack. Now, let me show you what blackjack is. So what I have here is my auto shuffler because I practice blackjack under conditions that I expect to play in, and if you're serious about making money, blackjack, you should get one of them. It is cheap, you should be practicing. And I have my shoe. Alright, so blackjack, this is 6 decks. You'll see a dealer shuffle, right? And usually I'll see a dealer shuffle, take out the machine, and they'll place a cut card in the middle. I have a cut card, which I think I lost in here just now. But anyway, it's not important for what we're doing. And then they switch, they take the 2 halves and they cut them like that. Oh, there goes my cut card. Alright, so here's my cut card. This is the cut card I use. Alright, so fix it to the side. Alright, so they do that, straighten it out, right? They take a card, they burn it, and you can see what it is. Some casinos will not show you what the burnt card is. I don't like that. I want to know what this card is. Because if you're counting 10s, counting 5s, or whatever the counting, you want to know what card's out. So, that's gone, right? So, put this in the shoe. Here's the shoe. Make sure this is all in there. Alright. Boom. I'm placing the cut card. It really doesn't matter where my cut card is right now for this demonstration. That's a bad cut. You want nice penetration. You want this way back here if possible. But anyway, it's not important. Alright, so actual blackjack. You playing against dealers called playing heads up. So you get a card. And you get a card. You get a card. And there you sit. Alright. And I just showed my whole card. Whole carding. That's another story. Again, not relevant here. Now, so you have a 17. You should stand. They're showing an 8. 2. They got a 10. They pull. Sorry, folks. They pull. Sorry, this is the card to pull. Right. 9. They got 19, 17. Dealer wins. That's blackjack. Heads up. Notice, you and the dealer pull from the same shoe. Remember that. Now, say you're playing with multiple people, right? So there's 5 people sitting at a table with the dealer, right? So, again, same shoe. Right? They deal from there. So, card, 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 card. It's 5 people, right? Then the dealer takes their card, right? And we go again. Card, 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 and dealer, right? And so, these people would look and say, I've got a 19, I'm going to stand. I've got a 11, so I'm going to double down, all right? Both of them do. Got a 19, got a 5 versus 3, I'm going to stand. I got a 9 versus 3, I'm going to double down on this one, right? Got that, 16. And I got a 13 here. 13 here. You really should stand on the 13. So I'm going to put this back. You should stand on the 13. right? 13 versus a 3, right? So dealer flips over. They have a 6. They can't split. 8 and 17, right? And they stop. So this person's won, and who won right now doesn't really matter. What's the point? Point here is, again, everyone got cards from the same shoe. Now everyone's decision, like that 3 I was going to pull over here, right, affects everyone else because that 3 is not something the dealer can pull because it was removed from the deck. And this is important in blackjack. Cards removed from the deck influences the outcome. And this is why blackjack can be beaten. And this is very important. Now, so let's take this back. Alright, take these out and put them to the side. Now, I want you to be listen to what I'm going to say. It's very important. If you're playing this video blackjack, you will notice that most people, including myself for most of the time, do not look at the rules. They just sit down and play. Because the game looks like regular live blackjack. There's a dealer up front, and there's 5 spots. Now you pick one, you go. Now, when you press the rules, you will notice that there are multiple pages of rules. Most people don't go past the first page because that first page states the obvious stuff. They think they know about the lucky ladies and all that kind of stuff. But continue going through, and about page 3 or 4, you will notice in very small, pixelated text that each person playing on these video machines has their own shoe, independent of the other people playing. Now, I just showed you that in real blackjack, everyone pulls from the same deck, including the dealer. So right there, they're telling you that this is not blackjack, because that's not how blackjack is played. And a table game is supposed to be like the actual live game. I guess they're using like as a way of, and not exactly like. They should say exactly like, but they're using like in order to weasel out of giving you an actual blackjack game. And this is also why if you go to these people's websites, you will see them advertise that they have counter-beating technology that counters can't buy. And this is why, because it's not actually blackjack. It just looks like it. I'm going to explain to you why. Now, everyone has their own shoe. Let's look at this. I'm going to take this 6 decks out of the shoe, and we're going to pretend we have 3 people playing. So I'm going to give this person a shoe, and this person a shoe, and this person a shoe. Alright? I'm going to put this over here. Alright? So, according to the game, each person has an independent shoe. Right? If you're playing independently against the dealer, heads up, right? This is what it should look like. So, person, they get 1, dealer gets 1, you get 1, dealer. Right? They get 1, dealer gets 1, you get 1, dealer. They get 1, dealer gets 1, they get 1, there. That is what a heads-up game with each person playing independently against the dealer looks like. That's not what's presented in this game. What actually happens is that the dealer has, let's say I'm going to pull it from this side deck here. I know it's way out here. The dealer in these video games has one hand against these same 3 people. How is that possible? I just showed you that it's not possible that each hand would have the dealer with a different hand. It is not possible for the dealer to pull the same hand out of everyone's deck, taking the top card as they're supposed to. That's not blackjack. This is what blackjack would look like on independent shoes playing heads up against a dealer without interference from another player. But let's look at something else. If this had been a deal from a common shoe, right? These 2 cards should have actually been the second cards. Should have gone to these two people. And then the dealer would have pulled the first card out. So we're missing. But it gets worse. Okay. So let's say, right, so we know this isn't what's happening. It's going to remove these from the deck. No point leaving them there, because they're not being used. We already know this is not blackjack. So let's say here, well, if these two got blackjack, right, and this person got a 10, and they're going to double down from their deck, right, so they got a 20. Okay, so the dealer flips over, they've got a 19. I don't want the dealer to have a 19, because I want them to draw it. So I'm going to replace their 9 with a 4. So let's say they had a 4 against all these people. Right, and these two won their game. Which deck does the dealer draw from? Now I showed you in actual blackjack, they deal from the same deck that they have. Well, if they drew from person number 1, they've got a 20. Right? If they drew from there, they have a 19. And if they drew from this person's, they bust. Well, whose deck are they supposed to get? Is it the bust card always comes out and the deal loses and everyone wins? Is it the 20 that knocks this person out? That doesn't sound right. Is it the 19 that this person wins with now? I don't know. That's not blackjack. Blackjack is the dealer pulls in the same deck that everybody else pulled from. You're not playing blackjack. So then what are you playing? Here's the other question. Where did the dealer's hand come from? Did the computer go through each of these decks and find a 10, a common 10, and pull it out? And then go into the decks and find a common 4 and pull it out? Well, what if the 10 and the 4 were behind the cut card? Remember, I told you in the last thing, they don't even tell you the penetration. I just did it mathematically by seeing how many. Good. I just showed it in the last one by just playing out a bunch of hands and seeing how many hands come out and what the penetration was that matched that at a shuffle, because I recorded when it said it was shuffling. And shuffling to me was when they changed the woman. Of course, now I've shown you that the avatar that's put up in front of you has nothing to do with shuffling, because. Okay, so where'd they pull it from? You have no idea. Does the dealer have their own deck that they're pulling from? So everyone is playing against their own little deck? Yo, that's not blackjack. It looks like blackjack, but it's not. So what is it? Well, it's bingo or lottery. Computer comes up with some numbers, spits it out, and if you're lucky, you're on the winning side. If you're unlucky, you're on the losing side. You can't beat the game because all these cards are independent of one another, which is not how blackjack works. Blackjack is dependent. It is not a game in which cards don't affect. As 10s come out, as aces come out, your odds change constantly due to that. Because the dealer can only pull so many cards, you can only pull so many cards as they're being pulled out. So, my advice to you is that if you want to play lotto, go buy a scratch-off ticket with that money you were taking to the casino, because your odds are about the same. If you're going to play this blackjack, then just be aware that you're just being lucky. There's no real skill other than you pulling from your independent deck of whether you're going to bust or not. That's it. That's the only thing you're playing against. You're not trying to break the dealer, because the dealer is pulling from somewhere else that you can't know. And speaking of that, how do you know when you're playing heads up, that means you're the only person at that electronic table, that the game still isn't pulling from some independent deck somewhere else, which again is not blackjack. Lastly, a number of times I've been there and I've seen people complain about so-and-so got my 10. So-and-so did not get your 10. So I just showed you they broke out the stuff. No matter what comes out to this person, these two people are unaffected, which is not blackjack, but also means you need to stop complaining when that stuff happens, because it has nothing to do with you. the atmosphere, the video game is programmed to fool you into thinking that. Because at an actual table, yes, that would have been the case. But this is not an actual table. And I've just shown you definitively that this is not blackjack. So take your chances.